so much for this opportunity to be here. The executive dean, Professor Ngongondo, I hope I've pronounced it well. The head of department, Dr. Muntari. The guest of honor, Ms. West Salima. Industry leaders and our sponsors, academic staff, my fellow students, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. When I got a call that I should come in, despite it was a bit late, but I said, just because it's uni, Chanko, the college which God most loved, anything for them. So I had to make sure that I show up. For those who don't know me, my name is Egza Onjoka. Currently, I'm the Group IT Manager for Continental Holdings Group. Continental Holdings Group is a group of financial service provider where we have CDH Investment Bank, Continental Capital, Continental Pension, and other subsidiaries in the financial service space. I'm also the General Secretary of ICT Association of Malawi, also making sure that the Secretariat is running smoothly. I'm a director at a cybersecurity company running here in Malawi in South Africa, Tato Technologies. There we are offering cybersecurity services. And I'm also a director at CyberFrames. That's a non-profit organization which is looking at research in cybersecurity and capacity building. So, and one thing which I forgot, I'm also the chair of Computer Science Symposium for Chancellor College 2014, because still to date, they haven't yet fired me from the position. I have been asked to talk about cybersecurity, just to share some few insights. First, let me share my story, how I end up into this space. In my presentation, I had shared two pictures. The first picture was the library basement. How many of you know that place? The basement at the library. So the basement at the library, that's where the most difficult examination in the department were being hosted. So if you talk about data structures and algorithm by one Professor Mwawi, that was this venue. When you talk about computer graphics, coding in Java and C++, that was the venue. So we used to call it, when we have an exams there, we just knew that it's death by the underground, or death by that press. Death by Mwawi, I didn't want to use that. I hope he's not here. The second press which I wanted to show you was Jerusalem. How many of you knows that press? Jeru. So Jeru, mainly in the Christian societies, we have the behind the clinic, then we have Jeru. That's where when Professor Mwawi agatizo algorithm and agatipata matube sedatu timapiro ile kumakalira kuti ambuye ndakwanji lero namuna kwira jani Mwawi. So we used to have a gathering there just to cry about our grades. So those are two places which gives me good memories about uni. And while focusing on the basement at the library, one thing I remembered was the computer or IT department for uni, for Chancellor College then. That's where they were hosting their systems. So it's through that department that my journey in cybersecurity started. In 2011, I discovered a vulnerability in the then SALIS or student management system, which could allow a remote user to harvest all the data from their databases. The worst case scenario was that when this particular user has accessed the database, all authentication of all the systems which are on campus by then, the passwords were being kept in MD5 and under that same database. So it means to say that once you have those credentials, you have the database of those users, it means that you have access to all the emails, you have access to all the grading system, you have access to anything else. So that's the vulnerability which I discovered. And by then I was a nice person. I reported it to the then director, but somewhere, somehow, they doubted that a student there can do or get such a vulnerability. Because there was that doubt, that's where there is a proof of concept. So what I did was, I just shared them what I called grade book for year 2, the whole grade book of year 2 that year. I just shared him that information. That's when he realized how serious the issue is. And I believe that the new system which was developed now, it was as a result of enhancement of serious issues which he had in that system. And because of that, it gave me curiosity to say, yes, here am I at Chancellor College. We are learning computer engineering. We are being trained to be computer scientists, where we understand the architecture of technology, we understand the principles. But I think there is one part which I can just explore just to specialize in that, and that is security. And it just got excited because I discovered to say that I can do the same. I can search for vulnerabilities in different services, which by then were being hosted around the country. And most of the services which I just attempted to try and check, I could find vulnerabilities. That's why if you go online, you see some organization awarding me for finding vulnerabilities, and I will share even proof of concept just to make sure that they know that they have serious security issues. So by then we didn't have regulations from MACRA to regulate this space, because I think by now I would have been behind bars, but the regulations were not there. And I was able to get away with a lot of stuff by that time. But I had to make a choice to say that I don't want to be the bad guy in as far as this cybersecurity space is concerned. I want to be the good guy. Yeah, that's how my journey started in cybersecurity. So currently, academic-wise, I have the skills, yes, way back from uni. But, you know, skills without validations, they're nothing. Because in this industry, when you're in the tech industry, you meet people who don't know you. So you can be skilled, you can be a good programmer, you can be a good AI engineer, you can be a good person in cybersecurity, but if you can't show something, people will not take you seriously. So that's why I also took a lot to make sure that I got certified. So currently I'm a CISP, certified in information security system professional. I'm also certified in auditing and implementing a management system for cybersecurity, where there is a framework and ISO, which we call it ISO 27701. I'm also certified in that. I'm certified in data protection. I'm certified in analyzing information system security. I'm certified in cloud. I'm certified in a lot of sectors in as far as cybersecurity is concerned. So now, a lot of things are happening in the country. In my next slide, I wanted to show you some innovations and some good news happening in this country, just also to motivate you that it is possible to make sure that we impact or to make impact in this country. I wanted to show you a picture of my friend, Gudo Salima, who was my co-chair of the 2014 Symposium event, who is an innovator and has innovated a GS smart house. So what GS smart house is doing is that when you have a greenhouse, you can plug that device, and using AI and robotics, it's able to detect the soil texture, the climate in that greenhouse, and different parameters in the greenhouse, thereby giving you analytics on how your greenhouse is performing. So that's one of the great news coming in from an innovator from University of Malawi. There is another innovator who are into drones. There's a drone program whereby they are using drones, make sure that they are delivering medicine in hard-to-reach places. Still happening in Malawi by a Malawian innovator. Now, when I was even researching on this, I just discovered to say that in Lilongwe, Area 25, they are using AI to prevent premature birth for mothers who are expectant. They are using AI. That's also an innovation happening in the country. And while appreciating that, I discovered to say that there are a lot of opportunities in the country which we as students, we as innovators can come in to innovate. And on the same slide, I coincidentally put in a slide on Mooney, where Mooney is funding a lot of innovation in the country. And I hope that most of the innovations in this room today, they will go into the Mooney Challenge for this year or next year, so that we win the award and help to do something which can impact our country. Now, while we are celebrating all these things happening in our country, the digitalization happening in our country, the good news happening in our country, and as far as the tech space is concerned, there are also challenges. There are also risks. And one of the risks is cyber risk. So we can't talk about technology without touching cyber risk. Cyber risk is there. It's a risk which, as long as we are using tech, as long as we are innovating, as long as we are developing AI product, we will have the cyber risk. So we have to make sure that we are aware of that. One of the issues which I wanted to raise, or maybe to remind you of, is the issue of national passport, our Republic of Malawi passport. I hope we all know that we had a hack last year, and the president came on record to say that we have been hacked, we had a ransomware attack, and till date, we haven't yet fully recovered from that issue. So that's how this cyber risk is there, it's affecting our country, and it's something which we need to seriously look at. So I've seen some two good systems here, and my hope is that we are also taking consideration into these issues of cyber, so that as we are developing, as we are innovating, we are also protecting the data which we are processing in these systems. While we are on the same cybersecurity issues, last year there was some good news in cybersecurity. The Cybersecurity Index published by ITU came up to say that Malawi is doing tremendously well in as far as cybersecurity posture is concerned in the country. And I hope you saw those news. We are almost in the papers. One of the key areas where we did well was in regulations. MACRA has been spearheading regulations. Currently, we have the Data Protection Act, we have the Cybersecurity Act, we have the Cybercrime Act, which is even coming in. So as we are innovating, as we are doing all our products and services, let's make sure that we are also doing them within these legal frameworks. Because if our products and services want to comply with these legal frameworks, chances are high that they may not grow out in the industry. They may not be utilized in the industry. So that is one of the areas which we need to seriously also consider, just to make sure that our products and services are compliant to the legal provisions. Now, going back to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity isn't just about protecting data, isn't just about having good firewalls. Cybersecurity is about protecting dreams. Cybersecurity is about protecting businesses. Cybersecurity is about protecting the most sensitive and the most dear treasure which we have in this world, and that's our data. You agree with me to say that today this world is running on data, it's feeding on data. And whatsoever we are doing, even the whole essence of us producing systems, innovating a different solution, we are playing around with data. So we have to make sure that we protect that data so that the core purpose of producing those systems and services are maintained at the end of the day. So if we cannot protect that critical asset, that is the data, then at the end of the day, the innovations and the system, they are of no use in the industry, even around the country. Now, in my next slide, what I wanted to show you was the area of focus which you can focus on in as far as the issues of cybersecurity is concerned, and also what the future looks like in the space of cybersecurity. Number one, the trend in AI and machine learning. So today, you will not talk about cybersecurity without talking about AI. Hackers are becoming so smart, threat actors are becoming so smart, and they're using AI tools to make sure that they deal with the systems which are being innovated around the world. And for us to deal with the same, we also have to make sure that we understand AI, we learn AI, we see how best we can utilize AI in as far as defending our system is concerned. So AI, we just have to get acquainted to it, and there is no any other reverse way about it. The second issue is the convergence of IT and OT. IT, we know it, information technology. OT now is operation technology. We have companies like ESCOM, which are using operation technology to make sure that they transmit electricity to our homes. We have companies like Water Board, they are using operation technology to make sure that they transmit water to our homes. So as the trend is going, we also have to make sure that we need to be able to understand how these technologies are working and how best we can secure these technologies so that at the end of the day, the critical component of the country is being protected as well. We have cloud technologies. I hope by now everybody is acquainted to cloud technologies, because where the world is going, cloud will be the lead in as far as infrastructure is concerned. So we need to make sure that we understand cloud and we understand how best we secure in cloud, how best we deploy our application in cloud so that we are able to be competitive in that space as well. And under the same, as developers, as innovators, you may already start thinking about DevOps. You may already start thinking about DevSecOps. Those are the things which you need to start thinking about. Those are the things which we need to be seeing even when you are doing your project, so that when you go in the industry, it should be an easy transition. There are issues of quantum computing. There are issues of decentralized technologies, satellite technologies. Now we have the Elon Musk bringing in their technologies here. Currently, Macra, they have a full-fledged division of cyberspace looking at the technologies in the satellite space. We need to make sure that at least we have a glimpse of what is happening there, so that as we are innovating, we also innovate in those space. As we are trying to protect our assets, we also protect our assets in those space. Now, now that we know that we can innovate, we know that we can do something to transform our country. Now what? What are the areas which we need to look at? What are the areas which we need to focus on as students, as graduates to be, as innovators who are going in the industry? One, I think I've been already emphasizing to say that let us harness AI. AI brings about an opportunity, because even today, if you learn AI and become an expert in AI, you can compete even with industry leaders. The opportunity is that AI is a latest technology trend, and everybody is in the learning stage around the world. So you can innovate in that space and become a star around this space, because everyone is new in the field. We are all learning. You come in the industry, we are all learning. And even when you look at the stature of AI, in as far as the local organization is concerned, there are few organizations who have really even started talking about AI. Meaning to say that in a few months' time when you graduate, you can have a competitive advantage in as far as the AI space is concerned, and even be a leader in that field. We are all learning, you can lead in that field, and that is possible. The second issue, as we innovate, I have to put it in Chichewa. Tingapanga innovate the solution, the service which we are doing, isamazi pregese. You understand? Isamazi pregese, because a solution which you can innovate today can transform this country. It doesn't matter that you are at school right now. It doesn't matter that you will be graduating soon right now. But in as far as innovation is concerned, it's something that can transform this country. We are at a good opportunity as the players in the country, because our country is still not yet mature in as far as technology is concerned. You see how poor services of banks around. We have been crying about banks being inefficient. We have been crying about different national services being inefficient. That poses an opportunity to innovate in those space and be leaders in those space. So make sure that tisamazi pregese, and we should go beyond class projects, university projects. We should start looking at projects that can really impact our country. In that way, we will be able to break through in as far as this industry is concerned. One thing I've also noted is that I've gone around in universities. Most of the times when I ask students on the innovation they are doing, what is their focus area, they are only scoped within Malawi. They only think about Malawi. But I don't think we are limited. We can only innovate in Malawi. In this digital space, you can innovate anywhere. You can be an innovator in Malawi, you can be innovated around the world. So let's make sure that the skills we are getting should not just be confined in Malawi. Malawi is not the only place which God created that we should live. There are a lot of places which we can live and we can impact through our information and knowledge. So let's make sure that we are innovating in as far as that space is concerned. The final part which I wanted to emphasize is on prioritization of our learning. There are a lot of information which we have online, which we are getting from the uni, but we need to make sure that we choose what we want to focus on. Look at the industry trend to say that what are the trends which currently I can focus on. Look at those trends and make sure that you specialize in that trend and make sure that you become good in that trend. Because when you just go in every other trend, there is cloud technology, you are there. There is big data, you are there. There is blockchain, you are there. There is graphic designing, you are there. You cannot just be a master of all trade and becoming best in that field. So let's make sure that we look at a focus area, we specialize and become best in that field. If we do that, we'll be able to be competitive in as far as the industry is concerned. My next slide, I wanted to show you the current trend now in as far as our profession is concerned. So you look, that is the World Economic Forum publication on the future of jobs. So now the World Economic Forum, they do analysis on what work will look like in this year, next year. And this trend, they are looking at what the future of work is looking like in the next 5 years, from 2025 to 2030. So you see, if you're able to see, you see that the top fastest growing jobs are the ones which are being shown here. And if you look at this, you'll find out that tech or computer-related fields are the ones which are leading in this list. Meaning to say that we have more opportunity to innovate, we have more opportunities to become specialists in those areas. So you see big data is, big data specialists is topping, fintech, engineering, the PAMOMO, they are also there, AI and machine learning specialists, software, and security management specialists, those who are managing cybersecurity. So those are the trends, and if you're looking at job locally, international, those are the jobs which you must start focusing on, so that you make sure that you are competitive, you have an edge in as far as the future of work is concerned. My final slide I wanted to give you a quote, my favorite quote. My favorite quote comes from the Bible, Proverbs 22:29. The Bible says, "Seest thou a man who is diligent in his business, that man will not stand before mere men, but will stand before kings." What the scripture or the good book is saying in this scripture is that when you have learned to perfect your skill, when you have learned to perfect what you know how to do best, when you have learned to be good in whatever you are doing, your destination is not among Mbozi. It's among big people, it's among great people. And I'm a testament to that. In our cohort, I was almost the only one who was really a fanatic of security. And I just really pushed on security. In our whole class, I'm currently the only one who is working around security. And I'll be honest with you, security has taken me in places. You talk of working with the UN, you talk of working with GIZ, you talk of working with different organizations. Security has taken me there. As young as I am, I've been in places where I even asked myself to say that I don't think I'm a fit here. But one thing kept me confident and kept me bold in my journey is that when you have learned to perfect your skill, when you have learned to be good in what you do, you will be in better places. So this is also my advice to you to say that whatever you're doing, learn to be better in that field. And when you become better in that field, you have a better destination, and it's among kings, not mere men. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I wish I would have talked more, but time is of essence. Thank you.